I'm gonna show you a little something interesting I got over here. So this is my new, basically my little seedling cannabis plant. And one of the important things that stick out over here mostly that I can actually stare at for hours is the soil. And the reason why is it's not your commercial soil. It's actually from my compost bin. Mixed it up with a little peat moss and whatnot. And I mean, I could stare at this for hours for the simple fact that, I mean, it's very interesting to see the beneficial microbes and bacteria that actually make this soil different than others. And that's why my plants thrived so much last year. I used compost. You know, I'm always composting. But it's extremely interesting to see that. And I got that on all my plants basically. See, this one I left outside. And this is actually a hot pepper plant. I got them little fungus gnats, but whatever. I mean, it's not a big deal. They don't bother me, but I know a lot of people consider them very annoying. But again, they don't bother me at all. Except when I'm drinking wine, I may have to just watch when I have. They may have just dropped themselves in there, but I mean, basically, all of them have it. I mean, you can see this right here. I actually left it outside. And and it was a big plant. I actually ended up having to cut it all the way down to try to save it because it looked terrible. I mean, it looked like it was dead, and now it's starting to come back. You know what I'm saying? So that's a very pleasant sight to see. This is actually a Muscadine grape that I started from seed, and it's actually looking beautiful. Again, you can see more of the life force here in the soil. Okay, and again, it's very interesting to see that. I love that. I mean, that's something that, again, I could stare at for hours. This right here is actually some cuttings. This is actually from a peach tree. This from an apple tree that I did a month ago. I didn't do none of these protocols where they say do hormones, like rooting hormones, and like, you know, shave the bottom of the stem. I literally just cut it, threw it in the soil, and look, it's like literally. That's a future apple tree right there. This is just from a cutting. I just pruned, and that's it. This is looking good because when I dig a little bit into the stem, it's green. So the stem, it's very much alive. It's just dormant. So I'm waiting for the summer. And then if you see this is basically a tomato tree that I started. I mean, a tomato plant. Well, I mean, they're little trees, but whatever. But I started it from seed, and look at this. It's already looking phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? And that right there, that's another pet of mine. That's basically the hunter. That's why I leave all those little flies, the little fruit flies around. Because that actually takes care of all the annoying little bugs that are around. So that's my friend right there. And here, I got to keep these separate from that because that spider will tear these up. But these are all praying mantises. And very interesting, these praying mantis I had 2 eggs. And one of those days that it was actually cooler. I mean, I'm sorry, not cooler, but warmer out. It actually laid all the eggs. I'm gonna take one out so you can see it. So I'm gonna put the camera down 1 second just so I can open the lid. And here's my boy Aries. So I named them, by the way. But this is Aries. I'm just gonna take care of them little fruit flies. They don't get out. But you see what I'm saying? Those are, and this is one of like 9. There was like 300 of them that were born in my garden. So I know they don't survive frost. So what I did was just basically saved like 9 of them, and I put them in these containers with these little holes on top. Like my brother-in-law helped me heat up a needle and just basically poked little pin-sized holes in there so they can't get out because they were really small. But I mean, you can, let me see if I can get an angle here. Oh, there he is. He's climbing up on top. So yeah, cool, interesting little creatures. I fed them by hand. So you can see some of the names like Thanos, Aries, Mars, and you know, that's Saturn right there. Basically along with the planetary alignments and how they were like when we had that conjunction. Surprisingly enough, I have one named Jupiter, and Jupiter was really right next to Saturn, and you got Pluto there at the end. But I have my own little meaning behind them and whatnot, and at the times that they actually molt, meaning they shed their skin and get a little bit bigger, so they go into different stages of maturity. So it's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty cool. It's actually, this is one of the watermelons that I actually grew in my own yard. I'm about to eat that one. And then there's coffee grounds. I saved those because I put those in the compost bin when ready. And then I'll make a separate video. This is where you pretty much structure water. I got some glass marbles in there, so the little holes where I'll make a separate video on that. I don't want to explain that now, but here's another one of the little cannabis plants, and this one I just watered, and the soil is looking phenomenal. As you can see, I mean, the camera doesn't do justice. You could basically just sit here and look at this. It's basically, you could meditate just looking at this. It's amazing. I don't know if you share that same feeling that I have about it, but this is beautiful life force. These are fig trees that I'm actually rooting, so I'm waiting for these to get for the springtime. They're gonna be future fig trees. Here's my little show you real quick. This is my little sweet potato, but you can see this right here is it's so small yet giving me so many slips. You see that? Look at the amount of slips that this is giving me. All little future little plants. And then I got some more tomatoes I'm rooting out, which are already giving me root. And then my cannabis seedlings, which I'll have 3 more of. The other ones are actually already used up, so we'll talk soon.